Alright, so Llpsi, welcome to this video lesson on Familia Romana, Capitulum Secundum, second chapter. We're going to be looking at the Roman family in the Lingua Latina per se Illustrata book. So here we have a picture of the Roman family that is in the book here. Julius, he's the father. Pater, Marcus, he's one of the sons. Filius, his son. Quintus, another Filius, son. Julia, a daughter, Filia. Aemilia, she's the mother, Mater. Then we have slaves in the margin. Syra and Delia, they are Ancillae, and Ancilla is a maidservant or slave woman. Davus and Medus, they are servi, slaves, male slaves. Now, familia in Roman times is, you could translate it as family, but maybe household might be better. It would include the slaves that work in the household. All right, let us take a look at the chapter. Familia Romana. Julius vir Romanus est. Julius is a Roman man. Now notice the distinctive Roman word order. Julius man Roman is. As always, Latin likes to put the verbs at the end of the sentence. We tend to put them in the middle, right after the subject. And then Latin likes to put the adjectives, here Romanus, Roman, after the noun, which is here vir. But we like to do it the opposite way. So keep that in mind. When you go to translate Latin, you should change it to the normal English word order. Otherwise, you say, Julius man Roman is, and nobody understands you, or at least they look at you really weirdly. Aemilia femina Romana est. Aemilia woman Roman is. In other words, Aemilia is a Roman woman. Marcus est puer Romanus. Marcus is a Roman boy. Puer means boy. To turn that into a feminine form, you say puella, which notice has the feminine A ending. Some masculine words like wir and puer are going to have this R ending instead of the us ending that we saw previously. Okay, so R and us are both going to be masculine singular endings. Quintus quoque puer Romanus est. Quintus is also a Roman boy. Julia est puella Romana. Julia is a Roman girl. Now notice there the est is in the middle, so Latin word order is more flexible than English. It's okay to put the est there. We could have also put it at the end of the sentence. Marcus et Quintus non viri, sed pueri sunt. Marcus and Quintus are not men, but are boys. Now notice there how vir has turned to viri, plural. Puer, boy, has turned to pueri, boys. So for these R-type nouns, usually just add a long I on the end of it to make it plural, which is kind of like what we saw before with the us changing to E, but now we're not replacing the R ending, we're just adding a long I on the end of it. Alright, viri sunt Julius et Medus et Davus. The men are Julius and Medus and Davus. Aemilia et Delia et Syra sunt feminae. Aemilia and Delia and Syra are women. Esne femina Julia? Is Julia a woman? Non femina, sed parva puella est Julia. Not a woman, but a small girl is Julia. Now we would change the word order and say Julia is not a woman, but a small girl. Julius, Aemilia, Marcus, Quintus, Julia, Syra, Davus, Delia, Medusque sunt familia Romana. All of these people, Julius, Aemilia, Marcus, Quintus, Julia, Syra, Davus, Delia, and Medus, are a Roman family. Or the Roman family in this book. Remember A and D, there are no words for those in Latin, so you stick them in wherever they make sense to you. And that means there can be more than one way to translate something. You got to figure out what makes best sense in context. Julius pater est. Julius is the father. Okay, so we get paternal from pater. Patriarchal comes from that root. Aemilia est mater. Aemilia is the mother. Maternal comes from that. Julius pater Marci et Quinti est. Julius is the father of Marcus and of Quintus. Now, here's something different in this chapter. Marci, Quinti, those look like plural endings, but here they're not plural, okay? You could use the word Marci to mean Marcuses, but there's only one Marcus in this family, right? So what's the point of that long I ending there? Well, it's a possessive ending. It's called a genitive case, and to translate it, we would say Marcuses with the apostrophe S, or we would say of Marcus, and the same thing for Quinti. We would say Quintuses with the apostrophe S, showing possession, or we could say of Quintus. So Julius is Marcus's and Quintus's father, or we can say Julius is the father of Marcus and Quintus. All right. So going on, Julius pater Juliae quoque est. Julius is also the father of Julia. Now notice that Julia has turned to Juliae, right, with the AE ending, which again looks like it could be plural based on chapter 1, but you might guess in the context is again this new genitive or possessive type ending. It's a feminine possessive, feminine genitive ending. So Julius is the father of Julia, or is Julia's father too. Quoque, meaning to or also, again, just as a reminder. Aemilia est mater Marci et Quinti et Juliae. Aemilia is the mother of Marcus and of Quintus and of Julia. So what three words in that sentence are this new genitive or possessive? So hopefully you thought to yourself, Marci, Quinti, Juliae, right? They all look like they could be plural, but in fact here in context we know they're genitive singular. It's a little bit like in English when we think of, a lot of times people are lazy and they don't put the apostrophe to show the possessive. They just put the S on the end. Well, essentially it would be kind of like this. So the possessive and the plural look similar. And in fact, the English apostrophe S is the leftover of an old genitive in English back in the Middle Ages, early Middle Ages. English used to have cases like Latin, and they had these kinds of endings and so on. All right, going on. Marcus filius Julii est. Marcus is the son of Julius. Julii, again, genitive possessive. Marcus filius Aemiliae est. Marcus is the son of Aemilia. Notice Aemiliae has that feminine possessive ending, feminine genitive. Quintus quoque filius Julii et Aemiliae est. Quintus also is the son of Julius and Aemilia. Again, Julii, Aemiliae, both of those are the genitive singular possessive endings. Julia est filia Julii et Aemiliae. Julia is the daughter of Julius and Aemilia. Quis est Marcus? Who is Marcus? Marcus puer Romanus est. Marcus is a Roman boy. Quis pater Marci est? Who is the father of Marcus? Julius pater Marci est. Julius is the father of Marcus. Quae est mater? Who is the mother? Marci, of Marcus. Mater Marci est Aemilia. The mother of Marcus is Aemilia. Quae est Julia? Who is Julia? Julia est puella Romana. Quae mater Juliae est? Who is the mother of Julia? Now let me pause there for a second. Think to yourself, what's the possessive in that sentence? Which word is the genitive, feminine genitive possessive? Quae mater Juliae est. Hopefully you figured out that's Julii. Again, it looks like it might be a plural ending, like insulae from chapter 1, but it's not. Here in this context, it's possessive, genitive case. Aemilia mater Juliae est. Aemilia is the mother of Julia. Pater Juliae est Julius. The father of Julia is Julius. Julia filia Julii est. Julia is the daughter of Julius. Qui sunt filii Julii? Who are the sons of Julius? Filii Julii sunt Marcus et Quintus. The sons of Julius are Marcus and Quintus. Marcus, Quintus, Juliaque sunt tres liberi. Marcus, Quintus, and Julia are 3 children. Okay, or you could say the 3 children. Now notice here, liberi. which, by the way, I'm just going to point out this can mean free people. Liber can be an adjective for free. It's where we get liberty from, and liberal. Or, as here, in this context, it can also mean children. They are 3 children. Liberi sunt filii filiaeque. Children are sons and daughters. Marcus et Quintus et Julia, Marcus and Quintus and Julia, sunt liberi Julii et Aemiliae, are the children of Julius and Aemilia. So look at the words liberi Julii et Aemiliae. Now think to yourself, looking at those endings, which ones are plural and which are singular possessive, singular genitive. Okay, so hopefully you thought liberi is the plural, are children, and then Julii and Aemiliae are both the singular possessives, children of Julius and of Aemilia. In familia Julii sunt 3 liberi. In the family of Julius there are 3 children. Duo filii et una filia. 2 sons, notice filii is plural, and 1 daughter, notice filia is singular. Well, that concludes the section 1 of this chapter. I hope you learned a few things here and made sense when we're dealing with the possessives. We'll deal with some plural possessives later on, but these are the singular possessives of masculine and feminine that we've seen so far.